Hi everybody, today I'm going to tell you the real reasons why black women have to stop mewling if we as a collective are ever going to move from the bottom position of society. I've identified mewling as the reason that black women are quote unquote at the bottom of the world. It all comes down to this one fact that you are giving others what you should be giving yourself. This is an extremely important message and I urge you to listen to this entire video and share this with whatever black women you know. So first of all, let's talk about what it means to be a mule and mewling itself. A mule is an animal who's known for carrying packs. When it refuses to move, it's whipped. This animal's entire purpose is to serve. This is not even a cape because at least heroes get praise and worship. A mule is the lowest of the animals. A mule is born to serve, forced to carry, never rewarded, and never praised. When a black woman mews, she devotes time, effort, and energy to other groups of people and their issues, or she tries to protect them. That includes anyone who's not a black woman, obviously. White women, black men, Asian women, Asian men, Latino women, Latino men, Arab women, Arab men, Palestinians, and I specified them because of the current conflict, Indian men, Indian women. Now you may have noticed that I left out white men, and that is because I genuinely can't remember ever seeing a black woman mew for a white man. She's generally opposing a white man or his ideologies when she's mewling for these groups that I've listed. This is a key component, by the way. She's fighting white men, the white patriarchal structure, on behalf of other groups when she's mewling. So you may have heard this word mewling a lot in the past 10 years or so, especially on social media, and you may have even interacted in agreement with a lot of content online advising black women not to mule or mammy, saying that, black women are going to rest, we're stepping back. To some degree, you probably already agree with me that black women should stop mewling. You're tired of always being asked to help, being labeled as angry, aggressive, strong, that you're going to come and save the world. But occasionally, you probably find yourself slipping up and into old help behaviors or just not being able to completely detach from service in the way that you know you should be. And that is because you and the majority of black women, especially the ones who are just outright mewling, truly do not understand the why behind why you should not mule. When you understand why, which I'm going to break down in the simplest way possible in this video, you are truly never ever going to want to mule ever again. Okay, so why should black women not defend other groups of people? I have 3 reasons. The first is hierarchy. Since the founding of this country, white men have been ranked at the top. The founding fathers literally owned slaves while maintaining that all men are created equal. And certain privileges were reserved only for free land-owning white men. And I mention this because I want you to have a clear understanding that the hierarchy is very intentional. So next in the hierarchy, we have white women. They come second to white men, and then black men coming in third. After slavery, of course, this dynamic got really tricky because black men got the right to vote before white women got the right to vote, in 1870, and then finally for white women, that was in 1920. But guess who didn't get the right to vote until 1965? Yeah, black women. Now, we're not going to get into all the complications that came with these voting laws. I just want you to look at the bigger picture here. Black women have always come in dead last place for rights, freedom, and privileges. Whatever social movement that was created, this is essentially the pattern that is followed. To help you really understand the hierarchy, I want you to close your eyes for a moment. Imagine that it's 1725 instead of 2025. You're on a plantation. You're in Georgia, South Carolina, Mississippi, wherever. You're a black woman in America. So think about your experience right now with black men and ask yourself if you think they would have treated you any differently, any better, when there were no laws around to protect you and they themselves were under extreme amounts of stress as they were also enduring slavery. Think about the interactions that men have with women in general. Think about how males dominate females in any setting. And I want to pause really quick and highlight something. If a black man is being treated inhumane and a woman is always treated worse than a man, where do you think that leaves you as a black woman? It's universally understood that no one wants to be treated like a black man. But what is unspeakable is the idea of being treated like a black woman, because that is even beneath a black man. That is even as low as you can be treated. I understand this is painful for you right now. It's painful for me, but we've got to go deeper. We're not deep enough to reach the point yet. So again, you're on this plantation. You have this one man above you already, the black man. And as men will dominate women, he can abuse you, mistreat you, assault you, endanger you, run-of-the-mill misogyny. That's what you face with him. But it gets worse because he's not the only person above you. The white man and his wife own both of you on this plantation. So let's talk about the wife first. She's a woman, but at least she gets to be a human. But she's confined and restrained to a certain degree, sexually and socially in particular, by the white man. She resents you because she sees you being forced to labor and move, and she thinks that's freedom. When her husband, the white man, is misogynistic to her, she takes it out on who? You. So now let's talk about him, the white man. So he is above everybody on this plantation. He can do absolutely whatever he wants. And because he is a man and you are a woman, he starts to look at you and decides to use you sexually, decides to sexually exploit you. What can you do? Absolutely nothing. So now you got all of these people who are above you, who are abusing you in all of these different ways, and you have to take So obviously this isn't confined to only one type of story. I mean, there's all kinds of abuses black women have faced in all kinds of ways from people above them on the hierarchy. And you can literally see this today. Just look around. That enslaved woman that we imagine is still in the position that black women occupy today. Obviously, you're no longer on a plantation. You might be on a corporate job. But the situation is the same. You're still in the same position because you're still within the same system. And the same applies to POC. This is why POC solidarity doesn't exist. You look at these people and see allies because they too are non-white men. And to a black woman who doesn't understand, you think that, anyone who isn't a white man at the apex of privilege is your comrade in arms. I can tell you this is an extremely misguided thought. These people are, according to the curse of this system, above you in the hierarchy, and no one above anyone else in this hierarchy is interested in bringing them to their level. That's not how human nature works. So please understand that you should not defend them, because bottom line, you are not in a relationship with a mutual level of respect and status. Therefore, it's simply not possible to have an even exchange of solidarity. Now let's move on to privilege. Your lack of privilege is the second reason why you as a black woman should stop muling. You cannot afford to place yourself in conversations about other people's rights, needs, or try to speak for them. This is going to be short. I have one question for you. Let's go back to this enslaved woman that we imagine, or, in 2025, the black woman who represents all of us. If the enslaved woman in this scenario decided the next day that she needed to go over and help the white woman in the big house when the white woman gets into a domestic dispute with her white husband, wouldn't you say that that behavior is ridiculous? Suppose that same enslaved woman, still drying her tears now from all the brutality that she endured the previous day, jumps up, leaves her cabin, and says that she's going to go stand up for the white woman or stand up for the black man who's being flogged right now against the white man. Wouldn't you think that woman is suffering from some kind of mental illness? Wouldn't you think that she is engaging in some kind of self-harm? Y'all, this is exactly what you look like when you mule. When you defend other races of women, black men, other groups, you see yourself as healthy, happy, powerful. You got enough privilege to share. I see you as someone who's just been abused, in deep suffering, and in no condition whatsoever to be running to someone else's aid. I have a good modern example for you. This year alone, black women have been the most affected by job loss. Lost 106,000 jobs. Unemployment rate rose. Your femicide stats are sky high. Your maternal mortality rates are high. Your stress rates are high. So you're not doing well as you feel as a collective. And it's a hard, bitter truth, but it's also a truth that you need to face in order to understand that you simply don't have the time to be minding anyone else's business. You don't have the privilege. You're dying while you're trying to reach out and resuscitate others. You're drowning while you're trying to push others onto the boat before you. You have ridiculous amounts of work undone. You don't have time to talk about isms affecting other communities. We don't even have a system, y'all, where we can turn to. This election showed us that most of us had to put our hope into a party that doesn't even want to acknowledge us. There's not a single safe space in this world where black women can go and enjoy privilege, power, and stand at the top of the hierarchy in a system. You might be personally wealthy and able to do that, but I'm talking about systemically. Systemically, it doesn't exist. I don't know about you, but that is not okay with me. And that tells me that for the most abused and disrespected human to walk this earth, we have a lot of work to do and no time to focus on others. One more question I have for you before we move away from the topic of privilege. Wouldn't it make more sense to have a healthy doctor tend to an emergency call than to send a woman who's in the middle of recovery from a C-section? Wouldn't it make more sense to look to someone privileged like white men to defend and uplift people as part of righting their actual wrongs, instead of asking black women, the most vulnerable group of people in the world, to do it? Think about it. Final point of why black women have to stop muling, and this is that simple thing called minding your business. Centering yourself, whatever words you want to put on it, the concept is the same. You're supposed to face your front in life. In this life, we have an average of about 70 years before, boom, it's all over. The way that time flies, in all honesty, y'all, you really do not have time to be worried about what happens in other communities, other countries, things not related to you. Please don't waste your time, y'all. It's all you have. And a lot of you really don't realize just how much you have to do as an individual. You're online inserting yourselves into conversations that you should not even be responding to, that shouldn't even be on your radar. You should be online learning how to code. You should be designing marketing materials for that business that you're supposed to be running. You could be watching videos on finance or AI. We're not where we should be to be worrying ourselves about other people rushing to their defense. How many of us even achieved our goals this year before we decide that we're going to go bite and snarl in defense of non-black women and other groups of people? How many of us have even made any kind of content bringing other black women to awareness about our plights, our struggles, our terrible stats before we went and posted about Palestine? How many of us have shared job listings with black women online or gave other black women advice on how to get money? These are the things you should be focusing on. You should be focusing on how to make it. You should be focusing on developing a plan so that you can finally have something built for you in this world. You are not God. You are not meant to take on all the problems of the world. Focus on saving yourself. So final words. You are at the bottom of the hierarchy in this system, so no one is your ally. Please stop self-harming and being self-righteous by trying to link with them. 2, you have no privilege. You are like a bleeding, struggling, crying, wounded person that's stumbling to go and patch up somebody else, somebody who doesn't even like you, someone who will watch you then be beaten and kicked more and turn their heads the other way while you're abused. That is simply backwards and ridiculous to try to help someone like that. 3, you are supposed to mind your business. Life is supposed to be about you. Stop dissociating and avoiding how bad things are right now in your life and your community of black women and girls by hyper-focusing on everybody else. This is very, very serious, y'all. When you're scrolling online, before you type up that comment defending someone, stop yourself and think, have I ever been afforded this grace? Before you rush over to help somebody, ask yourself, who has ever helped me? If you're at the end of this video and you still disagree with me, I have one warning to give you. You will never get good results from muling. Every time you help, defend, and play guard dog, you are simply reinforcing a slave status. You are simply upholding the structure of white supremacy. And every time it's going to backfire on you. There's a very simple life rule. If you do something for someone long enough, they're going to start expecting it from you. When you don't give them that thing, then they're going to get angry. This is why they demand you to come out and protest for them. And they try to bully you into speaking for them. They're going to punish you harder for not being politically correct because you started out wrong. You started out serving. But black women, you were forced to serve in 1759, 1824, and even 1945. But today, it's 2025. It's a new day. You do not have to do that anymore. Break out of the slavery mindset of serving, protecting, and defending. Slavery is over. Heal and raise yourself. Thank you all for listening to this. I really, truly hope this message woke up something in you. I really hope your mind is open and you're thinking right now. And I ask you to do one thing for me. Hit that like button and send this video to your sister, your mother, your cousin, your friend, any other black woman you know, any black woman in your life. Because I promise she needs to hear this. Thank you again for listening. This is The Truth Pill Black.